This is Monocle on Design Extra. It's a short show to accompany our weekly programme where we discuss everything from architecture and craft to furniture and fashion. I'm Maylie Evans. The late Wendell Castle was a titan of the art furniture movement and part of the big four of modern woodworking alongside Wharton Escherich, George Nakashima and Sam Malouf. Trained in industrial design and sculpture, Wendell was best known for his organic furniture pieces, chiselled from blocks of stacked laminated wood, an unusual technique that he developed and honed in the 60s and 70s. At the Carpenters Workshop Gallery, Suspended Disbelief is an exhibition that showcases some of the later pieces made by Wendell between 2011 and 2015. With more on how Wendell blurred the boundaries between art and design, let's hear more from the co-founder of the Carpenters Workshop Gallery.
Wendell Castle is considered as probably one of the most important post-war American designer. But I use the word designer, but if Wendell was with us today, he will object because he considered himself as an artist and didn't see any boundaries between the practice of being a designer and being an artist. My name is Loïc Gaillard. I'm one of the co-founders of Carpenters Workshop Gallery. I remember a dinner with Wendell where he was telling me this story of him being a young artist or an apprentice, and one of his tutors was telling him that his works had nothing to do with design and he was going the wrong way, and precisely he was fighting to say that his language and what he wanted to express himself as was a free artist. And in some of the early works of Wendell, you would see some pieces are just sculptural and very much in the language also of Jean Arp and all this generation of post-war artists where you can see some strong similarities in terms of the artistic language. The language of Wendell Castle is very much in line with the language of Carpenters Workshop Gallery. This is a curation where we are interested in the form of the object more than its function, hence very much being at the fine line at the border between contemporary art and design. His entire career, he looked at the object and looked at the form more than the function. So when you look at the work of Wendell Castle today, it's a very strong sculptural approach to creating the object and wouldn't really qualify as design as such. Looking at the pieces we have at Ladbroke Hall at the moment, most of the pieces are made from ash, and Wendell liked to stain ash. They are quite characteristic of Wendell's technique of lamination. And when you look at the work of Wendell, you understand that he was using some plank of ash that he would glue together to create a solid block of wood. And from this block, he would then start sculpting into the mass with a hammer and a chisel, pretty much. And almost as a sculptor would start sculpting a block of marble, Wendell will start sculpting this solid block of wood. The chances to carve from a solid block of wood is almost impossible. Some of the Brazilian artists would do this from Amazonian huge trunks, but here in Europe and America, it was just impossible to find such large piece of wood to carve from. So Wendell invented this technique, and by gluing those planks together, could create pretty much whatever volume he needed in order to create his handmade sculptures. Look at the counterbalance that you find in a lot of pieces. You talk to Wendell, he had some very simple sketches on paper of the final form that he wanted to achieve. And that was the genius of Wendell. He would know perfectly where the construction should be made and which area of the sculpture should be reinforced in order to find its perfect balance. It's almost if the laws of physics were just natural to him without even having to calculate anything. It was just natural to him. The free form, the organic shapes have always been at the center of his practice, and Wendell, very much like his works, was a free man. The same way the shapes he's been working on his entire life have been organic, they've been free, without any constraint whatsoever. He's one of the most acclaimed American artists, designers. There's very few works left on the market, and I guess people should take the time to come and see the show because the works are getting very rare, and there's a real scarcity to see such a strong display of artworks of the legend of American design.
Thank you, Loïc. And Suspended Disbelief is on at Carpenters Workshop Gallery in London until the 27th of April 2024. That's all for this week. If you're eager for more design stories, then listen to our 30-minute programme, Monocle on Design, that airs on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. London time. Or if you do prefer print, then you can pick up a copy of Monocle magazine. It's on all good newsstands now. Today's episode was produced by me, Maylie Evans, with editing help from Lily Austin. Thank you for listening.